Okay, now the next exercise is called a tongue trill. Now the purpose of this exercise as well is to allow you to start to create sound where you're not using or engaging the swallowing muscles. Now what I want you to do, place your thumb underneath your jaw and just move your tongue back in your mouth. Really kind of exaggerate it. What you'll feel are those muscles coming down. And again, when those muscles are coming down, they're pushing your larynx down and it's cutting off your air. So we don't want that to go on while you're singing. Now, doing the tongue trill is a great way to start to retrain your body to have the sound move through without those muscles getting in the way. Because if they come down, the tongue trill itself will stop. In other words, if I'm doing it correctly, I'm feeling the sound is continually moving up this way, which means the muscles are not coming down. I am not cutting off the air. If they start to come down, you feel like you're choking. That's exactly what will go on, okay? So now the other thing about this, not everyone will be able to do the tongue trill. It is a genetic thing. So don't worry if you can't do it, because then what I'll have you do is just do some variations on this to basically accomplish the same goal. Now, what I want you to do, first of all, to know if you can really kind of do the tongue trill, is if you can curl your tongue that way from side to side, you should be, curl it in, you should be able to do the tongue trill. If you are able to curl your tongue in that way and you still cannot do the tongue trill, that means that you have been using these swallowing muscles for quite a long time. It could be just the way that you even learned how to talk, where you started engaging those muscles, or you developed it through some other habits when you were singing. Whatever the case might be, we just want them to relax. So if you cannot do the tongue trill, the other thing that I want you to do is just use a different sound to create the same idea. What you'll do is place your thumb under your jaw and kind of You just want to kind of get a sense that the sound is still moving up here without these muscles coming down. It's the same idea as the tongue trill. You see, it's still moving up that way. But if you can't do the tongue trill right now, then use a different sound. You can use any sound that you want, any vowel sound, A, E, whatever, anything you want, just so, but it's important that you have your thumb under here so you can feel if the muscles start coming down. If they come down, your sound will stop. Again, do not force this. Only do this as high as you can in the beginning. And then another tip, as you start to get higher, kind of back off the sound that you're using. Because if you've had a habit of using these swallowing muscles, if you try to use too much sound or put too much air through, the muscles will absolutely come down. So just do it very easily in the beginning. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to demonstrate this with someone. I have Jordan here. Hi, Jordan. How are you?
I'm good.
Great. Now, I want you to know, I just met Jordan. I have not worked with her. And she's like, what the heck am I doing here? But we're going to use her because I like to start with using people who I've never worked with them before, because it tells me right away what their body's used to doing. So, have you had any kind of training or anything?
Nope.
Perfect. That's really good for me. A lot of times I find that it's easier when I'm working with people when they haven't had any training, because maybe they haven't, been taught or developed some other particular habits. I'm going to have you do this tongue trill, okay, to kind of demonstrate, and it'll show me also a little bit more about what your body's used to doing, okay? So place your thumb under here, because I want you to also to just be in touch with where those swallowing muscles are. And as I mentioned before, I have you sometimes make really weird faces and use these crutches, because I always want you to kind of get a sense that the sound is continually moving up this way and not falling back in your throat. Just try to do the tongue trill. Right there, you could feel where it started to fight you a little bit, right? you could feel where the muscles started to come down. See, now make this face. Now you feel how you exaggerated it?
Yes.
And then it went up this way. So this is what some of you may need to do in the beginning as well, and this is also why I like for you to use your thumb under there. Anything that you've been used to doing for a long period of time, any particular habit that you have, you're not necessarily going to be aware of it. So this is why a lot of times I will have you using your hands, making faces, doing all of that, because I need you to feel a different way that we want the sound to move through your body. Now, don't worry. You're not going to have to always use these weird crutches. You're not going to always have to make the strange faces. But for right now, it's just to get a sense of how you want to start to redirect the sound moving through your body. It's very important that you understand that what happens is you form a memory. Your body forms a memory of how it produces sound. And we want to give it a memory that is helpful, that is healthy for your voice and gets the maximum out of it. Okay, so let's just do this. I'm going to play the exercise. I want you to go along with it as best you can, okay? And I'm going to play the exercise here for you and just go follow along with it. That's okay, don't worry. Great. Okay, now good. That's good. That's good. Now you can feel. Now maybe you could hear this. There were places where she started to feel where the muscles started to come down, right? And then the tendency that she had was to try to just push it a little bit more to get it there. I don't want you to do that, okay? Because that will reinforce habits that we don't want. I would rather have you, when you feel that, back off. So now what I'm going to do to correct that, put your hand here again. Just do that. Now, I just want you to think that you're going to allow the sound. I'm using that word. You're not going to push it with your body. You're just going to allow the sound to move up this way. Great. Do it again. Great. Now, hang on one second. It was easier, right?
Yeah.
And now she was able to control the pitch. The other thing that I always want you to understand is that when you're having a pitch problem, okay, you think you can't hit a pitch or you're not staying on key, it's always related to something that you are doing physically. And that's what we're going to correct, is what you are doing physically to get you in a little different place, okay? So when you're having that problem again, when you feel the muscles come down, back off and just think you're just going to allow the sound to move up there. The reason I say this, and I want to explain this now, your vocal cords, their size will contribute to the particular pitch that you're trying to create, okay? And we'll get through this in a lot of the other exercises, but I want you to have an idea of it now. The way to think about this, if you've ever looked inside of a piano, you'll see that the strings that create the lower pitches, the deeper pitches, are thicker or longer. They create lower pitches, right? The strings that are thinner or shorter create the higher pitches, okay? Same thing on a guitar. If you pluck a guitar, a thicker string will make a lower pitch, thinner string will make a higher pitch. And guess what? That's exactly how your vocal cords work. Okay, so to get you to not push and to allow this to happen very naturally, which accomplishes our other goal of leaving your larynx more relaxed and in place, all you have to do is think that you're allowing the vocal cords to thin and shorten to get to the higher notes. I just allowed them to get smaller. When I do that, I'm never pushing my larynx around, okay? So now I'm going to have you have that idea as you're doing this, as you're going higher. All you're going to do is just allow the vocal cords to thin or get shorter to get to those higher notes. Then what you're going to do to hear where you are, because I've talked about this in the beginning, I want you to just focus on hearing all your pitches right here in your forehead, okay?
Okay.
I know, that looks like a lot, but watch, you'll get it. Okay, now just do it again. Put your thumb underneath. Okay. But start down here. That's okay, you'll hear it. Great, okay, now right there. Stop. Do that. Now you don't need to work to get to the higher notes. That's the part that's hard to break down because you feel like, oh, I gotta work to do there, right? You're gonna break the, just do that. Yeah, you exaggerate, make your face like this. Okay. Great, okay, now let's go back here. No, just do it. I want you to hear exactly where it starts. Okay, the octave floor. Okay, don't work. That's good, you're getting it. There. Now you just got it. And you're like, what happened?
I was like, did I?
Yes, because you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You didn't try to get it there. That was the whole point. Now you just heard it.
Oh.
That was exactly
I get it.
Yes, that was exactly it. That was good. Let's do it one more time. Don't worry. And again, I want you to understand, it's always, it may take you several times to go through these things to start to gain the concept and to be able to master it in your body, but that's why we call it practice, And so you have to keep going over it, especially again, if you've been used to doing something completely different. So I'm just gonna have you do a little bit more. So just start from here. I'm not gonna even go back to the very beginning. Okay. No, that was so good. I can see in her face, she's like, really, that's working. You could feel that, right? That you were getting there. And then she started to gain more control over the pitch. And that's the whole point. And again, you don't have a pitch problem. I need you to get that through your heads, okay? If you truly have a pitch problem, even that can be corrected, meaning that you can't hear a single note, even that can be corrected. But if you think or you've been told in the past that you have a pitch problem, it's because of something that you're doing physically. And I want you to think about this. If you truly did have a major pitch problem, you wouldn't be able to hit any of the notes correctly. Okay? It wouldn't be just occasionally that you're going off pitch or not hitting a note. So, but anyway, great. Thank you so much, Jordan.
You're welcome. I'm excited.
Good.